So 2023 saw the release of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and so many of us Plasma Series collectors were eagerly waiting to find out what the next wave of the Plasma Series might look like, the Frozen Empire wave of the Plasma Series. And yet the film came and went. We got no announcement of another wave of 1/12 scale figures to coincide with the new movie, which was such a shame considering I've said before how sort of toyetic that movie was. Of any of the movies, it felt like Frozen Empire lent itself to merchandising in toy form better than any of the Ghostbusters films did previously. It felt so much more like the Ghostbusters cartoon, and we'd obviously had comments from actors within the movie that this film drew inspiration from the cartoons. So it was really disappointing for me personally to not get another wave of the Plasma series to go with the two previous waves that were based on the movies. So for the 1/12 scale figures, we'd had 3 waves technically. We'd had one wave based on the original 1984 movie. We had a second wave based on the 2020 Ghostbusters Afterlife, which later bled into 2021, obviously with the delays during COVID. And then we had a third wave, which was kind of a cash grab in a way. It was just a rehash of the first 4 original figures with no Build-A-Fig and covered in green slime. A wave that I was very disappointed in. But ultimately it didn't matter because surely we'd be getting another wave with the new movie. Well, we didn't. But what I'd love to do today is have a little bit of fun thinking about what might have been. What would the Frozen Empire wave have looked like? So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you my Frozen Empire wave. And there's going to be a couple of requirements that we're going to need to meet with this wave. So based on the first 2 waves that were linked to movies, what we saw were 6 human figures and a Build-A-Fig in the main wave, and a second release which was a special edition 2-pack. So that's what I'm going to pitch to you today. I'm not going to talk about the fact that I would love to see a wave purely of ghosts and a wave of Ghostbusters 2 and all that. I would love all of those, and I could talk for hours about what I would love to see in those waves as well. But we're going to talk specifically about what a Frozen Empire wave should have looked like. So please jump down in the comments and let me know who you would have loved to have seen in the wave yourself. If you were drafting this wave right now, who would be in your final 6? I would love to hear from you on that. I'm going to lay down a few other requirements as well for my wave. So I don't just want to repeat costumes and just use pre-existing molds from other waves. So I don't just want carbon copies of the first 2 waves repurposed into this one. So I want to see something a little bit original. I also want a mixture of genders, so I don't just want all men, all women, and a variety of ages represented as well. So what I mean by that is I want some of the kids and I want some of the adults. I want a mixture of the 2. But other than that, for me, really, I get to pick whatever I want. And obviously this is just for fun. There is no wave coming. In fact, I mean, the only thing that I can think of is this rumoured new HasLab that since Ghostbusters Day has never really materialised. This idea of there being an Ecto-1 HasLab coming. I mean, maybe we'll get an announcement at next week's PulseCon, but there's been no nod to there being a Ghostbusters panel there, so who knows? Maybe it'll be a surprise at the end. But if there is an Ecto-1 HasLab coming, then I could easily see stretch goals being new figures. But that being said, let's jump right in to who my 6 main characters would be. Now, you might disagree with these. I don't think you should, because I think there's a really good reason for having all of these 6 characters in here. But my 6 is going to start with Gary Gruberson and Callie Spengler. I think they both need to be in there. And I think what I'm looking for with costumes is I think Gary absolutely needs the red parka. I think somebody in this set needs that red parka. The parka that all of us Ghostbusters cosplayers went nuts over from the first trailer and then barely saw any of in the actual movie. That red parka absolutely needs to be in toy form. So at the very least, Gary needs to have the red parka. I don't think that Callie ever wore it in the actual film, just in the trailer. But if Callie doesn't wear it, then I have another suggestion for somebody else who might be able to wear it later on. But at the very least, Callie in the standard Ghostbusters getup with that black turtleneck that she's wearing in the film. Perfect. So Gary Gruberson, Callie Spengler are my first 2. And then I'm also going to throw in Phoebe, But this time for Phoebe, I don't just want her in the normal Ghostbusters costume, because we've seen a Phoebe in the Ghostbusters costume. What I'd love to see is a plain clothes Phoebe, so with the floral button-down shirt that she's wearing and like the denim dungarees that she's got on. But what I want to see is a spectral Phoebe. So at least that's something a little bit different. So when she turns herself briefly into a ghost. I don't think it needs to go full Afterlife Egon from The Family That Busts Together. I don't think it needs to just be purple. I'm more than happy for it to hint that she is slightly see-through, but then there also being a little bit more colour in there. But I think that'd be a really interesting character to have, and slightly different to anything we've seen before. So Phoebe is my next pick. And next on my list, I'm going to put in Nadim Razmadi. So played brilliantly by Kumail Nanjiani in the movie. So I want him in full Fire Master regalia with all of the sort of bronze golden armour on at the end of the movie. His accessories could easily be the sort of fire that he's manipulating. Well, I think he was a really key character in the film, and I think it'd be wrong for you to leave him out. And again, then it gives you something different on the shelf, so it's not just 6 Ghostbusters. So Nadim would definitely be my next pick. And then after that, this one is probably a 50-50. So either Lars Pinfield, so James Acaster's character, in his dark-coloured R&D lab suit with the COG No Ghost logo on his arm as well. That suit, so it's something slightly different again. But if not Lars, then I would want Lucky, also in the dark R&D suit, and Lucky could then also wear the red parka. So I'm not particularly worried which of those two we go for, but Lars or Lucky. So yeah, one or the other of those. I think if we went with Lars, I think we could put more interesting accessories in. The orb naturally would be a really good choice. You could also maybe have a sling that could be put on his arm. Either one of those two would be my next pick. On my last character of the 6 would actually be Janine. So I really think Janine Melnitz needs her own figure, and we haven't had one in any of the previous waves, but Janine in the Ghostbusters suit. That's exactly what we need, with an arm-mounted neutrino wand as well. So that is absolutely who we need to see in figure form. And they would be my initial 6. So Gary, Callie, Phoebe, Lars or Lucky, Nadim and Janine. They are the 6. None of the original Ghostbusters make it into my 6. We've had so many of those figures. They would just be identical to the Afterlife figures anyway. We don't need any more of them. Let's save that for if you're going to do a GB2 wave. Not that they ever will. But yeah, I really think that these characters would be the most interesting to have as figures. And then you build a fig, it writes itself, doesn't it? It's got to be Garaka. And if you do Garaka as a Build-A-Fig as opposed to one of the characters, you can scale him up to make him slightly larger than the figures as well. You're never going to get him to the height difference that he is in the movie. But if these figures are 6 inch, you could easily make the Garaka 7.5 inches so that he towers over the figures a little bit. And it's just a really easy figure to build a fig, isn't it? So yeah, Garaka would definitely be my Build-A-Fig. And I'm loving that wave already. I'd have been so excited if that had been the wave announced. And then we've got the double pack. So for the first 2 waves, there was a special edition, limited double pack that came out. For wave 1, it was Tully's Terrible Night, and it was Lewis Tully being chased by a terror dog. And then for wave 2, the Afterlife wave, we got The Family That Busts Together. So it was Phoebe Spengler and Egon as a double pack. The spectral Egon, that purple, semi-transparent version of Egon that we got in that second wave. So along those same lines, I would want to see a double pack of one of the main characters that's not been in the main 6, and that's Trevor. And I would want to see Trevor and Slimer as a double pack. I think we absolutely need to get Slimer in figure form. He should have been here already, and it's criminal that he isn't. But if you're going to have Slimer, then really the best character to pair him with from the movie is Trevor, because Trevor was pretty much the only character that shared a meaningful amount of screen time with Slimer in the film. So the way I see it is Trevor, plain clothes, t-shirt, jeans, proton pack on his back, Slimer. And then I would say, because that set feels a little small, I would want a pile of garbage that Slimer can be mounted on top of, as if he's coming out of the garbage. And then you could also throw in a little clear flight mount for him as well, if people want to pose Slimer out of the trash. But I think that pile of garbage with Slimer on top, fighting Trevor, you could have accessories like you could have the pizza box, you could have some, hot dog sausages, anything you want with Slimer really. But that's the double pack that I think makes sense for this film. So correct me if I'm wrong, but we absolutely want a ghost, don't we? And the only person you can put with that ghost really is Trevor. And that would be my wave. What do you think? I've nailed it, right? Let me know in the comments why I'm wrong. That's why the YouTube comment section is there after all. Yeah, let me know why I'm wrong, but I'm not. That's absolutely the 6 figures and the double pack that we need to see. It gives you far more variety than we've seen in any of the other waves. It gives you variety in costumes, it gives you variety in characters that we've not seen before in any of the other waves. But let's be honest, if they ever did a wave, it probably wouldn't look like this. It would be the same 3 original Ghostbusters, and it'd probably be, maybe we'd get a Gary if we're lucky, but it'd just be a rehash. But these are the main characters that I would want to see, and probably these are the 6 characters, other than maybe Janine, that had the most impact on the movie as well, other than the 3 original Ghostbusters. So yeah, there you go. That's my wave. I would love to have seen it. Gutted we didn't. Totally gutted. I'm going to have to go and buy a cheap Ant-Man now and kit bash myself a Gary Gruberson. Yeah, like I say, drop down in the comments, let me know what you think of this. It's only a little bit of fun. We're never going to see it. Hasbro don't care enough, I don't think. We've got the O-ring figures coming. Great. Will they continue that range? Who knows? Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. But if you've enjoyed this video, please pop a like on it. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more videos like this. And also please consider subscribing to my channel for more action figure reviews and news. But regardless, if you enjoy Ghostbusters, why don't you check out this video next? Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you all take care. Bye bye.